All right. Sorry about that. Anyway, so we got Rollins out, and he's got his chair, and it feels good to be champion, to have Lesnar, yada yada yada. You know, just talking. He's talking, being a face, and then it doesn't take long before we get Baron Corbin, and he's out, and he's say hey, I'll wait, and he is a douche, but that was kind of good. He's getting better. He's growing on me because he's not just being a jerk. He's being semi-witty. This is Corbin. So, after Stomping Grounds, I will be Universal Champion. And, you didn't really beat me. It was just the incompetent referee, and I was screwed on it's classic Corbin. Like, what else are you going to say? And I got to stop saying like. So, that's what it is. It's him playing that role, and that's it. So, he wants to be a shite special guest referee, or he wants a special guest referee because the current ones are just incompetent, and he's entitled to that because he's Baron Corbin, the favorite son. So then we get Sami Zayn out, and I am on Team Corbin for this one. Of course you are, Sammy. Of course. And then we have Sammy pretend to be the one who cares, and he gets called out too. And then KO out. I've got his back. Of course you do. We're building like a team of heels, and against the face. And, Seth, he did Seth. Hey, come on down here. If you got a problem, and we'll sort it out. And KO's like, since I am here as the wild card, I haven't heard that used in a while. They've just been jumping shows back and forth as they want, and just not even putting a name to it, which is fine. I don't care. But now all of a sudden they're bringing that name back. So we'll see how that goes. And so we end up with KO v. Rollins as our main event for Monday. Cool. So I can dig that. Although that's not gonna finish. Like you know right away. That match is doomed to fail. And anyway, we get Lars in the Lucha house party. Stop calling him a fucking freak. Stop. Just stop. He's not. He's not great. He's not overly impressive. He's white trash Nazi. Fuck him next. And then we get the 24/7 fallout with R-Truth. And so, by the way, I saw this week that the 24/7 is apparently a brainchild of the USA Network. And once again, they think their ratings are down for whatever reason, but they're not. Like, you follow them social media, you follow TV. The problem is that now, in the age of streaming, you don't know what your ratings are. You don't know who's watching it legally. You don't know who's borrowing a friend's account. You don't know any of this stuff. So it's hard to measure, what's being seen and how it's being done. So I don't think it's down. I don't have any reason to think that it's down. But I see where they're coming from. But apparently they made this list of things that Vince could do to help the ratings. And out of all those, this was the only... Vince felt like he had to take one. And he took this one. And it's a joke. So, but like... It's like the Super Bowl. They claimed that the ratings were down, but it wasn't. When they factored in how many people streamed it, it was up like it always is. But enough about that. So we get, I don't forgot what it was now, but R-Truth gets caught in an elevator with a bunch of the losers that are chasing him, and that's okay. And then we get a little Becky Lacey promo. Becky's Becky, for a woman who talks so much and says so little, you forget to mention you tapped out to me. And then she tells her that dirt and gold are found in the same place, which is true, but never thought about it. So why is Lacey all of a sudden in the mix? I don't know. Who knows? Who cares? But as usual, they're not going to wrestle. They're going to have a tag team matchup with Bayley and Alexa. So, whatever. And then we get Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross. And she's talking it up. Nikki is her new stooge. And they talk about Bayley and how she's a fake hugger. And she's wanting to feel awful and make her feel undeserving and alienated. And people will eventually see through it. So she's doing the lackey thing like she did with Jax for a while. Well, where the hell did Jax go? But anyway, that's what she did. Desperately wants her friend. And then we get on to more fun stuff. We get the Miz. And so Miz TV, man. It was good. It was good the last, 2 nights. Well, SmackDown version was good too. But we'll get to that next. So at first I'm like, I'm losing respect for this guy. He's going to have Samoa Joe out. What a loser. And an idiot. So Joe comes out, I'm not the new champion. Ray stole my belt. And I won it back. And then the Miz, awesome. Really? And he replays the whole Samoa Joe attacking him from behind when he's in a sling, beating him up, and talked about how Ray was honorable. And then you went after Dominique, and that's crossing the line. And Joe said, those lines belong to you and not me. He's such a worthless bitch. He really is. And that haircut, the Mexican mullet. Anyway, so Joe's going to step to the Miz. Like, come on, Miz. What's up? What's up, man? And then we get it. The man of 3 words. And Braun Strowman to the ring. He'll take the title quick from him, man. And that's why you see Joe getting ready to run. And then we get the whole crowd out. Lashley, Cesaro, Ricochet. And then we end up with a match. So you still end up with Joe running from Strowman. And he's chased and has Lashley nail him with a spear on the way out. And Cesaro gets a near fall on Miz. And then the season finale, man. But Ricochet hit the 630 from the top. Pinned Cesaro. And it was good. It ended up being a 6-man tag. I forgot to mention that part. Made it sound like a damn free-for-all. But it was good. And I thought it was a good kickoff. And we're going to roll. So we get Corbin backstage again. And he's wondering if they found a special referee. Or if somebody decided. They asked if he decided on who it is. And, I've done some interviews. I got 2 weeks. I just need someone to do their job. Like you do your job, and I'll be fine. But then we get Sami Zayn. And, yeah, he wants it. And then we get back into real action. As we roll into... which now is the intro that brings everybody down, man. Well, not down, but you know what I mean. Brings the house down. The one, the only Becky, 2 belts. Becky, 1 belt. Tag team tonight, she's set. Lacey Evans, Alexa Bliss versus her and Bailey. And this is it. So we have, we end up, match was kind of weak. And we get Bailey getting pinned by Lacey Evans. So, of course, they're going to have the one contender pin the one champion from the opposite brand. Really? It was just a hot mess. And that's okay. So, Shane backstage. You got Sami Zayn with his nose all the way up his ass. And trying to get that special referee spot. So, I'm throwing my hat in for a special guest referee for tonight between KO and Seth, like an audition. And so he did make a special referee instead of the main one. So he's a secondary, a tertiary referee. And then we get Paul Heyman out and just bitching about the chair beating, and the crowd's just loving the heckling. And he's a feckless thug. Really, Paul? Yeah, whatever. No more Mr. Nice Jew. We won't tell you when we're cashing in Money in the Bank. Now it's a secret. This is a threat this time. And he just talks a lot of shit. But if you approach him, he's going to crumble. Just crumble. I'm not a wrestler. I'm not a wrestler. I'm not a wrestler. So, whatever, man. That's all right. He's like an online troll. He could talk a lot of smack as long as he's not going to see you. So, then we still show the 24/7 gang of B wrestlers in the elevator. And then that EC3 or whatever, we're going to have to resort to cannibalism. And then R-Truth's like, I got a phone, but I got no bars. Just a whole lot. It's just funny. The greatest part is like the commissioner of 205, whatever his name is, that little English guy that's still trying to get the belt. He keeps calling him Hornswoggle. Keeps telling him that Hornswoggle creeps me out. That shite's funny. So, we get our tag team champions, man. Yeah. Our women's tag team champions. And, we're the longest reigning women's tag team in history. Yay. They just cracked me up. But they're facing a couple jobbers. Like, I don't even remember their name. It doesn't take long. And it's over. So, we move on to a replay of Braun Strowman. No, wait. It was a replay of Roman Reigns and Shane. Super Showdown. Where, in case you don't remember, Roman was cheated out of the win. Drew McIntyre involved. That whole deal. So, anyway. We follow that with another elevator scene. Yeah, whatever. And then Drew McIntyre out. And then right behind it, we have good old Shane O'Mac. I'll go ahead and have it. So, is this like a new persona for
Here
Drew?
comes the money.
Here we go.
There it is. It's played now.
Here comes the money.
So, I mean, he's got his hair pulled back. He's got a regular coat, dressed similar to Shane. And they're coming out and they're going to praise Roman on his accolades. And, yeah, then Drew trashing San Jose. And they drink their champagne out of the Best in the World cup. And just kind of like celebrate. And then they call in the Revival. We're going to add them to the Brood. If they can bring home gold. So we're going to have a triple threat match for the tag team championships. All right. So we have Revival, Usos, Hawkins Ryder, which are the champions. And I don't think they will be after this match. So, Usos did all the damn work, man. So, they cleaned house. They did a great job. And then they kept doing super kicks. Boom, boom, boom. And then cleared out everybody. But as, I think it was Jimmy, was up on the top, get her to come off, finish this bad boy out. He got tagged from behind by the rival guy. And loses the pin and the Revival of the Tag Team Champions. So, heel move to take the championship to become a Shane Lackey. No, that's not classic or anything. So, we get a Seth interview. You know, he's ready for Lesnar or Corbin or whoever wants to come. I got this. I'm prepared. So, anyway. And then we go into the fun part. The fun part of the night. I don't know why I like it. I don't know. I just don't know. Yeah, I don't even really. That audio didn't really exist. I kind of faked it. But we get the Firefly Funhouse. And yeah. So I'm ashamed to love it. It's really creepy, really short. He kills like the rabbit for threatening to expose what's going on around here because the buzzard was going to kill him. But he didn't want to bring out the demon. It's just stupid and creepy and funny.
Daddy,
And
Kai went sleeping. I was sleeping.
he came back there.
Kai wasn't.
I got a special guest.
sleeping. Daddy, Kai wasn't sleeping.
I know.
I was sleeping.
He was awake. Why don't you go back there and play with Kai and I'll be there shortly, okay?
Okay.
Special guest star. So, who we got? Okay. Firefly Funhouse. Creepy. Love it. Shouldn't. It's embarrassing. I shouldn't love it. And that's all good. So, we move into back into Seth Rollins versus KO. Special guest referee. Secondary referee. Sami Zayn. And he starts arguing with the main ref. You know, he wants to pat down everybody. Like old school. Right? You got to make sure you don't have razor blades and shit. So he's like going all the way through Seth. Patting him all the way down. Like the socks, everything. And then he does like this little fake ass quick pat down on KO. And you see Kevin looking at the ref going, you know, he's doing a phenomenal job. Fantastic job. You never touched me. You haven't touched me. You haven't touched me since I worked here. You don't do shit. It's hilarious. So, of course, Sammy interferes with the match. Pulls him off a pin at one point. And so Seth eventually just grabs Sammy up. Threatens him. Jacks him up. And then the fun part happens, right? So Sammy calls for the DQ. Because he hit a referee. So our winner is Kevin Owens by disqualification. So his interview went well. Give KO his props. He won it. And so, but then Rollins just unloads on Sami Zayn. He pulls his ref shirt off of him, gets the chair, and it's just on. And then Corbin comes running in. And he just is bleeding from the head and just beating the snot out of Sami Zayn. And as Corbin's standing on the ramp like 100 feet away and just looking at him. So at that point, he turns around and just face stomps Sammy right into the thing. And we get Rollins in the end taking it home. That's amazing. So we're going to do a quick commercial for the podcast, and then we'll be back on SmackDown time here. So, what are we doing for SmackDown? We're opening up with Mike Mazzano, known as The Miz, 2 nights in a row. And I already spoiled it by telling you it was going to be another great Miz TV. But he's out here tonight by special request and by his guest. It's Drew McIntyre, the breast in the world. No, wait, the Spudge. It's the pest of the world. Pest of the world. So we get Shane, Drew, and Elias, and then we show the replay of the Roman Reigns getting screwed over at Showdown. We've seen it 100 times now. And then Miz, man, you do realize that every win you have is tainted. You ain't shit. And he replays the interview with Roman, where Shane got the win the same way he got everything. It was given to him. And, of course, he's pissing Miz off, talks about his dad. And then he's like, yeah, you can have your shot at me. You have to beat Elias. And then beat Drew. And then I'll give you your dream match of facing the best in the world. You know this is going to go. So we get him with Elias. And he does get the skull-crushing finale, man. He gets it in there. And next we get Drew. And he's doing good. But then, of course, Shane interferes on the side. And at that point, we are Claymore kick. And he's just lying there, man, face down. And Shane goes, hey, you know what? I'm going to give you a match anyway. So he does. Just jumps on him. But Miz gets up, just starts wailing, man, beating his ass. Unloading. Go, Miz. But, of course, he finally gets overpowered by the team. And he gets forced to tap out. So, oh, poor Miz. That was awesome. So, we get a little Amber Moon getting harassed by Sonya and Mandy Rose. So, cool. That'll be a little rivalry coming up. I can dig it. And then we get our tag team champion. I forgot who they were by this point. But Rowan and Daniel Bryan. With no regards to Rowan. None. It is play new equipment. Play. Sucked. Whoa. Hold up. To me. Anyway, see? Yeah. Oh, well. Anyway. So, it was Daniel Bryan, this Flight of the Valkyries. Okay, there you go. You got it now. So, tag team champions. Bryan, Rowan to the ring. Oh, there it is. Now you go play. Anyway. They're not actually wrestling, though. We get Heavy Machinery, which is like Shrek, and I don't know. I'll think of a cool one for the other guy eventually. But they're out to the ring to talk about a challenge. They want it. But instead they get a team that is so unknown, the announcers don't even know their names. And instead of looking it up or faking it or something crazy, they just straight up go, I don't know who these guys are. And they're nobodies. And we're sorry. So Heavy Machinery gets the win. And then we get Truth and Mella in the back talking about his Joke 24/7 title. And so he talks about how this thing is ruining his life. It is ruining my life. I stress. I don't got anything to do. But I can't do anything. I'm always defending it. But every single time that somebody takes it from him, he turns around and pins him back and keeps it. This shit started to amuse me. ashamed. I'm ashamed. So we get Truth and Mel in the back talking about that, and then somebody's coming. So Mel is like, hey, you need to hide in here, and I got a match. So you stay in this box, and I'll go do my match, and I'll be right back. So he's yelling, I can't breathe in here, I can't breathe in here. So Gender hears him and pretends to be Carmella. I'm here. I'm here, Truth. Yeah, hold on. I'll be right back. And so he goes, well, they kind of break for the match then. So you get Carmella and Sonya, and Mel ends up losing. So we come back to the dumpster, and Gender didn't bring a sledgehammer. He brought a referee, and I almost forgot. That didn't even got to that yet. But anyway, I'll finish that out because there's matches in between. But we end up with like the pitchfork picking the crate up, and Truth is all quiet. So Jenner doesn't think he's in that one, and they're asking where they're going, and they said San Francisco for the next Raw. So Jenner tells the ref they're going to San Francisco. I guess they'll wait in the airport for the boxes. So we get Bliss and Cross backstage again, and Bliss telling her about the social media outcry against her, and blah, 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 blah. And then we get into...
It's a new day.
Yes, it is. It's a new day. And then they quickly... They come out, and before they can get 3 words out, it drops. And we get Ziggler. And we get new equipment not playing. So they show the replay of the part where Xavier interfered with the match. And we audio difficulties. And it should have been me, Kofi. It should have been me. And it's, yeah, we know how this goes. And it is what it is. It's those, I don't really like, I don't like how they're doing him. I don't like the should have been me persona. Because Dolph really is, he's a solid wrestler, man. And I think they're kind of undervaluing him. But it is what it is. So Kofi points out that, X got kicked in the head first, and he defended himself, and he did all of that. But then we get Big Boy out again. So we're fight Owens fight. And now we're setting up for our 6-man tag. Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, and Dolph Ziggler versus The New Day. And as they set that up, we go backstage to Bayley. And she's not caring about social media allegations and doing all blah, 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 blah. So it seemed like Bayley's interview, it seemed like it was a part of my life I can't get back. Yeah, I can't get back. So now that we got our whole set up for a 6-man, they don't even do it. They go back and do Nikki Cross, Bayley. Bayley ends up getting an elbow drop and winning, but they just kind of had a weak woman's week. Weak woman's week. And then they did a replay of, what you call it, the Firefly Funhouse. And that's when Jinder ended up chasing down the box. But then we get our 6th man tag, finally. And oh, there it is. It's still there. Oh. New Day, Big E, Ziggler, KO, Sammy. So you know what's gonna happen. Kofi ends up hitting that Trouble in Paradise, and the New Day finish it off. And it really was not that great of a highlight role. Not that good of a main event. It just was kind of blah. You know, it's built up. It's more than talking. So we'll see what ends up happening with all of that. But we're going into the next pay-per-view. So it should have to soon start wrapping up storylines and what we're going to do. Because right now, we're not really sure. And, yeah, that was it for the week, man. Not too bad overall. Sorry about a little bit of issues with equipment. Hopefully, once I shut this down, look at the recording, we'll be able to see more of if I got it set up right. But did my test and did everything else, but that don't mean anything. Well, we'll see you guys next week. Once again, Good Ole Wrastling Podcast, TGOW Podcast, and YouTube. Peace.